Part 14 of Luke, chapter 11, verse 17. We just got done, I just got done explaining here how this verse is out of place and it's going to be replaced in coming up in the video today. And what we have here is a continuation from here, okay, from 15 verse 16. So, divided itself will fail, not be laid waste, but will fail. As one's house is divided, is against itself. If one's family is against itself, this has to be family, not house. If one's family, had to remember the macro after 15 years using the same one. So a family is against itself falls out. Okay. If Satan divides his, how will his kingdom stand? But this here doesn't need to be said. That's just a repeat of the text above. If I am Satan, we don't need two names for Satan, and cast out my demons, who are your brothers that cast them out? For they will also be your judges. Now, this verse goes to Jesus telling them later that they will judge the tribes of Israel. So here, this is something that's going to be true. So I can't just get rid of it, even though it sounds like it's out of place. But if it reads as a double later, then I will take it out. But here, it's talking about Jesus is asking them, who are these other ones that I sent out? Now this has to be in Judah, in Judah. And this has to actually be when Jesus is in Jerusalem. The text doesn't make any sense when you say your brothers, because let's see, who was the one that was said it? A male spake to the crowd. Oh, spake, I had this. Oh, yes, that's because it should be plaque. Excuse me, I gotta fix that. Someone said, so okay, someone said, this is going to be a scribe or a priest or an elder, probably an elder. I would put as elder, just someone. But he has to be in Jerusalem or in Judah, and he has to be in Jerusalem because that's where he sent his disciples to. If you notice, all the text does not have him traveling in Judah until he goes to Jerusalem to heal and to preach his king, or to um, tell them of his gospel. I cast out demons by YHVH'S authority. And I put this here instead of YHVH'S breath, as we talked about in the last video. I know it's there, but by YHVH'S authority. And my kingdom is from YHVH, and I have come to you, not upon you, upon you. This means I had to have that word. As well as I added this word. This was just changed as to have. A stronger arms his guards to keep his possessions, and he is undisturbed. this would be knowing that it's his possession because it could be a storehouse that's got food in it that's away from his home. A store, someone in the market, an innkeeper. But when someone is stronger, then he attacks and overpowers them. He can take away his. And this doesn't need all his armor, which you realize. Yeah, no, this is needed. And this here isn't needed. Who does not gather with me scatters. No. There's a lot of so-called Christians that don't go out and talk about Jesus. This is Jesus going to be explaining about demons, how they go out from man. It passes through waterless places. It's the abyss. It's not. It's an emptiness. And it would be just the word abyss, seeking rest. But they can't. They don't really seek rest out there. They're just beings are just floating in the abyss. I compare the abyss that everything you know about the universe, make it dark and no lights and just beings floating around. And that is in the first video. Males can witness they have a soul and they can talk to the dead in the abyss. And it returns. It says, I'll return to my house which I came. Well, that isn't his house. Male or female is not his house. When it comes with fire is swept away and put in order, then it takes like 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they go live there. The state of that male becomes worse than the first. Well, how do you get rid of the demon then? If the demon just decide to go to someplace else to rest? This doesn't make sense. The demon has to be cast out. And then I would be making too much of my own reasoning, what's going on here. I just feel that this text is not needed. In fact, I know this is a double of another text. Don't think it's going to be thrown out. I guess I'm going to take this, copy it, and I'm going to place it here and use it with the other text as it's say it's being truthful. So let me just make these blue, like what's going on here. I will oops, and I'll recognize that as well. And then if I do need it, when I find the double, I'll check to see if this needs to be used or not again, or used from. And came about with Jesus, speaking these things when the woman of the crowd where I shouted, blessed the woman that you were born, womb that bore you. Actually, it was the woman, not in the breast which you nursed from. This is just unnecessary. And Jesus told them, the blessed are who hear my words from YHVH and not observe them, but does them. So this verse is not needed to be this because it's just talking about them that blessed in this. No. We already know Mary is who favored a female from our Creator to give birth to Jesus. The crowd was increasing, said, "You diviners seek a sign for me," and no sign was given. Now it said it was the sign of Jonah, but there is no sign, so it can't be a sign from Jonah. This Jonah is completely made up. I've already done that video if you want to see me break down Jonah. But the object is the sign of Jonah is saying 3 days, and Jesus was not in the heart of the earth for 3 days or in the abyss for 3 days. And then this is that verse which I said that's going to be added down here. The diviners asked from him his sign in the stars. He said, "You diviners seek a sign for me," and no sign was given. This is just, is Jesus replying, there are signs in heaven? No, he's not. Should be, I guess, to clean this up, um, it would be, no sign, it would be never. Never are signs given. You divine. He said, "You diviners seek a sign for me," and never are signs given. And that is cleaned up. Okay, now we come here. The sign of Jonah. This is just not true. So, I've done a study on. I broke down to find the hidden formats in Jonah, and there's none to be found. But that you can find that in the text below. Let me go over here and check just to make sure that I'm. Here, I got a few folders open, and I got prophets for video. Ones that were done. Let me see PDFs. Yeah, Jonah is out. So that's the story there. There is no hidden format like you can find in other prophets. Son of man be for this generation. It's just not true. The Queen of the South will rise up with men at judgment. No, that's not true either. Jesus already told us that the 12 or the 11 disciples are going to help him judge the Israelis, not so much everybody else. So Peter ain't waiting for you at the gate, you idiots. And there's no gate to heaven. That's just, anyways. Yeah, I hear Jesus is saying something, behold, something is greater than Solomon is here. So explain to me why that verse is there. And then again, it says, behold, something greater than Jonah is here. So these verses are just, Jesus is being stupid here, contradicting what he's already said. And we know that you don't put a light under a basket, so that it's out. It's like a lampstand light, and it's for those who enter to see by. To stop all the double speaking here in these verses here. Okay, here's going to be a bunch of verses. For your body is your light, and when your light is where you see by my light. Okay, and when it is bad, your body is also full of darkness. This is not needed. It's already countering this. Once you say this, you don't need to say that. Then watch out, that light that may be in darkness. No, that's just out. If therefore your body and place will not be wholly illuminated. Okay, now this is wholly illuminated. This means that those that put this text in as coming from Buddhism and talking about enlightenment, and no, that's not that text doesn't make it either. The Pharisee saw it; he was surprised. His ceremonial wash before a meal. No, that text just doesn't read like it belongs in this verse or this group, and it doesn't belong with the other ones here. When the Pharisee saw and was surprised that he had not ceremoniously washed before the meal. There's no meal going on here. So, Jesus said, your judges, I told you that the video below explains why I'm changing the word Pharisees to judges. Look righteous, not looking the outside. Okay, then this verse was kind of hooked to this verse, so let me come down here and put it here and to take a look at it. It doesn't really need to be hooked that she's doing ceremonials and wash before meals. Jesus said to it, yeah, this verse doesn't need to, yeah, that's still out. And Jesus said, your judges look righteously on the outside, inside your but inside they, yeah, come I don't have they here. They are full of robbery and wickedness. And these will be judges because they've judged against the orphan and the widow. Yeah, it's just not needed. We know our Creator made everything, so it's not needed. Pay the tithe of mint, rue, and every other kind of garden herb. This is not true at all. There are no tides at all. I don't care what you've read or what's there. I'm going to show you that when you reveal our Creator's hidden text, there is no tithing of anything. They just have Jesus is saying at the time that they've got that at Jesus' time they had like a contribution box set outside. They didn't go around taking a basket. Hey, we need some money to give to these guys that don't believe in our Creator. And then they get to live high on the hall or at a higher standard of living by you being ignorant and giving away your money to the wrong people. Without neglecting regard for others. I put regard for others as a better way of being said. They love to sit, don't need this here part. They love to sit in the front of synagogues. This is what verse I've been saying that defines pretty much what a Pharisee is. if they love to sit in the front seat of synagogues, they aren't an off sect. Who are they? Well, they have to have some degree of recognition among people. And we know that the judges would wear their robes around, according to the text that we have here, to be noticed. Uh, and get respectful greetings at markets. They're like concealed pits, and the people walking over them are unaware of them. Meaning they've been corrupted, and they're not judging according to our Creator's commands, but now the will of mankind. Back us, insult us, well, attack us, more the deal, more of the true words, woe to you lawyers. You woe to your lawyers too. You too weigh down man with the burdens that are hard to bear. Lawyers are corrupt because they're not going by the commands or laws that our Creator set up. You would not bear and doesn't need to your fingers and stuff touch or stuff like that. That's just not needed. You changed to they helped. They helped build the graves of his prophets. And it was your forefathers who helped kill them. So it was these lawyers and judges that were against the prophets when they came forth for judgment. And then they had the authority to kill them under the laws that they had made up. So this verse has pretty much been said above. No need to divide it. And why they prophesied, that said, wisdom, don't need that. It's just, we know our Creator is, who is to lord over us. So he prophesies, I will send them my prophets, and they will kill and persecute them. That's what Jesus was just got done saying. And by his prophets' deaths, the world will make charges against those generations, because it happened over many years. Let me show you what I mean by many years. If I pull up this is the kings. Every year the kings ruled and how many years they ruled. This side here is Israel, and this side here is Judah. And you can see here that there was corruption going on by their judges and everybody over here in Israel all these years. So this is what Jesus is saying from generation to generation. And then it started breaking down here, generation to generation. So you have several hundred years, I believe, here. 100, 200, 300 years. So yes, there's many generations that can happen of people. Therefore, that's why I've got against those generations and not just this generation. In fact, there was no prophet sent during that generation except for John. So, and we do have recorded deaths of a few prophets in the text. Let's see, perish between the altar. That means that they could run and get there. The blood of Abel. No, that happened before at the very beginning when our Creator made Adam and Eve of each skin color. Okay, Adam and Eve. The story is Adam and Eve he created, and the story starts. But we aren't stupid here. We know that there are other races on this earth, so he created other Adam and Eves for each of those as well. So that's how the races began. um, or well, that isn't how they well, because I'm trying to remember what was written in our Creator's everlasting promises, the way I have it edited. I think it was that he then established um, the races by, well, he he divided their wording up. Okay, they all had one language, and then he changed their language. But when you realize that when we're talking about Noah, we're talking about this area over here, yet we know that India and China have had to have millions of people living there to have the billions that they have today. So let's not get stupid and just say there was only one Adam and Eve, okay? There was Adam and Eve for each of these, I would say, different races around the world. And this here, in the blood of Zechariah, he didn't die yet. So the thing here is this is just nothing. Jesus wouldn't have said that. There's no text to say that Zacharias died uh, between the altar and the house. That's just that. Okay, yes, there's a lot of editing going on in this one as well, and I've got it as scribes, not lawyers, because they have taken away key knowledge of me. It would be the scribes that would do this, not the lawyers. It's the scribes that are rewriting the text, and they will not enter, for they are like those hindering mine. Um, so a lot of this text doesn't need to be there. Once you start when you start correcting these verses, you'll find that all of a sudden words that just are, that you can connect from here to here, and everything else in between is really not needed. And I do hope you take a lot of text and go take a look at it for yourself and see how you would edit it by the knowledge that you're given by our Creator. It's left their lawyers, scribes, and judges, and they were very upset by his teaching. Close, this is saying that they still were questioning him with many other subjects, but the object is that he's already told them that they're wrong, so they wouldn't have been sticking around. Um, so they plotted against him to trap him by something that he might say. So getting rid of some of these verses actually makes the story true, that this happened and this happened and this happened, because if you have them leaving here, they wouldn't have been stuck around closely on many subjects when he already told them that these guys are the bad guys. Don't listen to them anymore. As the crowd, I don't need this under these circumstances. After so many thousands of, as the crowd, as the multitude had gathered. Yeah, the crowds were just were growing. Okay, that's the way I got it listed. Not many thousands, but the crowds were growing. Together that they were stepping on one another. That's only if they fall to the ground, but the object is that doesn't need to be in the text. And Jesus said, beware of the words from our judges, which are hypocrites. Well, that don't need to be there. Uh, yeah, everything here is easy to understand after that. So, um, do not be afraid of those who can kill your body, um, and have no more than they can do. This is not needed. I warn you, you are to fear YV, not fear the one. Notice how they've got the one here. I mean, it's just kind of like Jesus doesn't know who our Creator is. Another making just Jesus stupid. Okay, um, who can cast you into the abyss forever? Who has killed has authority. No, I don't. That just doesn't need to be there. Just words added that don't make any sense when you read how I've got it here. Who can cast you into the abyss forever? Um, 9, 2, no, put hell back here. Now, get rid of this. Oh, be like this. Meaning that it's our Creator's authority that Jesus is going to divide all those that are in the abyss right now, those that have lived on this earth even before the flood. They're still in the abyss that are evil. This is not, Jesus does not going to compare you to animals, to um, money and stuff like that, or what you're valued at. And then you very hairs of your heads are numbered by him. Well, there's a lot more sophisticated things we know than just how many hairs are on the head. So, and so this just not, do not fear of the value of many sparrows. See, this is, do not fear, you are of more value than many sparrows. So why did he even say anything like this? Who say, not confesses, who say they are mine, not confesses just Jesus, but they confess that they are his before others. I, the Son of Man, will speak of them before YV, not the angels of YV, that I will confess. Say and speak is the words that I've got, not confesses to confess. Don't need angels why before wiping. We're not concerned about what the angels think. We know some are corrupt. That's why we're being sent here. So, um, and that's a long story to explain why I believe that. But yes, just our souls were sent from YV. So, um, I'll explain that later. Okay, I will try to get to that when I go through and put all the text together. There is text, like 2 videos ago, that speak to that, but I attempted 4 times, I think, to do that video, and I just went on yakking for 15 minutes that I didn't think I needed to do, so I kept starting over. Thought I could shorten it, but I couldn't. In all these videos, who blasphemies, who curses, uh, who curse blind, so this is out. who curses YV, not the spirit of YV, but who curses YV will never be forgiven. Never be forgiven. And I don't need that. Okay, so now we have another definition. No, blasphemies. Jesus explained what blasphemies are that will not be forgiven. But here, I'm using the word curses for the fact that in the Sinai, an Egyptian son, Egyptian who was married to an Israeli woman, their son was playing with the other sons, and he curses our Creator, and they bring that information to Moses. Moses knows there's nothing in the laws yet, so he goes and talks to our Creator and asks him, "What do we do with him, and how do we make that judgment call?" And he has them stone him as a group to be part of that. You don't say that, or the whole community should be against people like that, and to stop that happening from among your people, because it's like cancer. You can't stop it once gets started. I mean, look how stupid people are today. Example, we have Democrats that want you to have the right to for abortion, to murder your children, and say it's okay. And then when it came up to, there was a time here in my life that those that were homosexuals, that they can marry and have benefits. Well, the Republicans didn't want to use the word marry. They wanted to have it a union, not to confuse the children between what a marriage is. They wanted to understand the difference, that they are different and they should be they call them a civil union. But the Democrats got the word in there, the marry. They would not allow the word civil union. But the object is that's the corruption that's going on, and things like that has just keeps getting worse and worse, that you can't stop it because they don't care about what our Creator is doing. So to stop that growth from within people's societies or in their countries, they need to vote as a block for righteousness and get rid of those people that are stupidly in charge of passing stupid laws. It's flat out murder to for an abortion. Um, yeah, this doesn't need to be here. So I got really third. But this is the text that I was using when I showed you Jesus. What you would say is our the thoughts that come to you will be His holy words will guide you, will not teach you, but will guide you in what to say that very hour, what you want to say. This doesn't need to be there once you have it here about what you say or speak. His holy words will guide you. These are notes for me to, what I did was, let's see here. It's just these two verses that I wanted to correct here. But Jesus, tell my brother, give more of our inheritance to me. Well, there is a law that our Creator dictates, how to portion out the land inheritance. So I wanted to make sure that that was noted here when I get to the final text here. And Jesus told him, and we don't have an answer here. It needs to be entered here what that law was. So he would now know, not that who appointed me as a judge, what male would appoint me as judge or arbiter over you. He would answer by the law that he knows that is there about inheritance. Um, yeah, this is really simple to begin reasoning, thinking, and then crops is really produce because crops could do other things. Produce, you could sell your ram for meat, the hide from it, and also from the goat. So they would also have been raising maybe even birds to eat. Um, Fish, no place to store all my produce. It's pretty much what's going on here. Um, so that was pretty easy to define, and I will get into the rest of this proverb um, in on the next video. They're going pretty quick today.